You've definitely seen it everywhere, right? Vitamin B12. It's in wellness clinics, it's packed into energy drinks. It's kind of sold as this quick fix for our busy modern lives. But, behind that whole trend is a much, much more serious story about a powerful, life-saving medication. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on it.
So we're told a B12 shot is just a simple pick-me-up, right? Just a totally harmless energy boost when you're feeling run down. But what if that popular image is actually hiding the real, critical importance of this vitamin?
Because in a real medical setting, vitamin B12 has nothing to do with a lifestyle boost. No way. It's an essential, targeted treatment. It's prescribed to prevent some truly devastating consequences. And that, right there, is the real, and frankly, way more fascinating story of B12.
Okay, so why is this prescribed as a drug? Well, doctors aren't just handing it out for general tiredness. It's a very specific treatment for a documented deficiency, a deficiency that can wreak havoc on your body in two major and very serious ways.
So here's where the problem really starts. B12 is absolutely crucial for building DNA. Now, if you don't have enough of it, your bone marrow just can't produce healthy red blood cells. Instead, you get these big, immature, and pretty much useless cells called megaloblasts. This leads to something called megaloblastic anemia, and that is the source of that profound, bone-deep fatigue and weakness. But believe it or not, the fatigue is only half the story. What's truly frightening is what a B12 deficiency does to your nervous system. See, the vitamin is vital for maintaining the myelin sheath. You can think of it like the insulation around all the wiring in your body. Without it, that wiring starts to fray. This can cause tingling, memory loss, and if you leave it untreated, the nerve damage can actually become permanent.
So what could possibly cause a deficiency that's so severe it needs medical intervention? Well, it's almost never just about what you're eating. In most cases, it's actually about a breakdown in your body's ability to absorb the B12 that's already there. To really get this, we need to meet a key player, a little protein called intrinsic factor. The best way to think about it is like a special key card that your stomach produces. When you eat food with B12 in it, this key card has to grab onto it to unlock the door into your bloodstream. If you don't have the key card, you can't get in. Simple as that. And this is exactly what happens in a condition called pernicious anemia. It's an autoimmune disease, which means your own body starts attacking the very stomach cells that make that crucial intrinsic factor. The key card factory basically shuts down. And at that point, it doesn't matter how much B12 you eat, you simply can't absorb it. This is why it requires lifelong treatment. You have to find a way to bypass that broken system.
But, pernicious anemia isn't the only culprit. Other conditions that damage the digestive system, like Crohn's disease or certain stomach surgeries, they can also block absorption. Even some really common medications like metformin can interfere. And yeah, while it's less common, a strict vegan diet over many, many years can lead to a deficiency if you're not properly supplementing.
So when a doctor actually prescribes B12 to fix these issues, what are you actually getting in that shot? Well, it's typically one of two different synthetic forms of the vitamin.
The two big ones are cyanocobalamin and hydroxocobalamin. Cyanocobalamin is the most widely used. It's super stable and affordable. Hydroxocobalamin is often the one they use to start treatment because it binds the proteins and just sticks around in your body longer. And here's a wild fact for you. In really high doses, it's also the main antidote for cyanide poisoning. How crazy is that?
Now, the how it's delivered is just as important as the what. Remember, since the whole problem is usually a broken absorption system in the gut, the treatment has to find a clever way to bypass it completely.
The injection is the classic method for a reason. By delivering the dose directly into the muscle, 100% of it gets straight into your bloodstream. It completely sidesteps a faulty stomach or intestines. For someone with, say, pernicious anemia, this is the most direct and reliable route, period. So you're probably thinking, wait a second, how can an oral pill work if the absorption system is broken? Well, it's all about overwhelming the system. You take a massive dose, we're talking 1,000 micrograms, and even without that intrinsic factor key card, a tiny, tiny fraction, about 1%, just manages to sneak through the intestinal wall. It's super inefficient, but hey, 1% of a huge number is still enough to correct the deficiency over time.
All right, so once treatment starts, what does that road to recovery actually look like? And, more importantly, are there any hidden risks we should be watching out for along the way?
The response to treatment can be, incredibly dramatic. Within just a day or two, the bone marrow gets the message and starts cranking out healthy red blood cells. Your blood counts can be back to normal in a month or two. Now, the neurological symptoms, they improve much more slowly.
which is exactly why getting diagnosed and treated early is so critical to prevent any permanent damage.
Okay, this right here is one of the most critical warnings in all of medicine when it comes to B12. Sometimes this type of anemia is actually caused by a different deficiency, folate. Now, if a doctor gives a patient folic acid without checking their B12 levels first, it'll make the blood problem look better on a lab test, but it does absolutely nothing for the nerve damage. It basically masks the real issue, letting that devastating neurological damage just silently get worse.
Now, despite that really serious warning, B12 itself is remarkably safe. Because it's water-soluble, your body just gets rid of any extra you don't need. The side effects are usually super mild, like a sore arm from the shot. The one rare but serious risk that doctors watch out for is something called hypokalemia, or low potassium, right at the very start of treatment when the body is rapidly making all those new cells.
And all of this really brings us to our main takeaway. When it's used medically, vitamin B12 is not a casual wellness trend. It is a life-sustaining, potent drug for people with a genuine diagnosed deficiency. Using it is a precise medical decision, one designed to prevent irreversible harm.
So the next time you see B12 advertised as just a simple energy shot, you'll know the much deeper, life-saving story behind it. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it, what other simple vitamins might have a powerful secret hiding right there in plain sight?